Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility. That's right, it's Wednesday, new release day here on the channel. We've got a slew of new ones for you this week and next week. Lots of stuff coming out. A lot of really good hard rock and metal albums that are being released right about now, so we're trying to get caught up on all of them. So today, this one, I don't have a physical copy of this, but I have been listening to the digital promo that has been forwarded to me by the record label quite a bit over the last week, and it's a pretty good one. It's the ninth album from new wave of American heavy metal act from Virginia, Lamb of God. Omens is, well, let me see if I can get, Jesus, that's terrible. Yeah, well, you guys can't. There we go. All right, there we go. Yeah, a typical type of Lamb of God cover, right? You've got the kind of bird skeleton type of thing with the Lamb of God logo. It's kind of cool looking. Wish I had something better to show you, but the thumbnail on the video will have a proper picture of this particular album. So again, this is the ninth studio album from Lamb of God, and it follows their self-titled release from 2020. We've got in the band now, we've got, of course, Randy Blythe on vocals, Mark Morton on lead guitar, Willie Adler on rhythm guitar, John Campbell on bass. Those four guys have been in the band pretty much from the beginning. New guy, though, is Art Cruz on drums. He replaces Chris Adler, who left Lamb of God a couple of years back. He played with Megadeth for a while now. He's like starting up some other project, but he has decided to step away full-time from Lamb of God. All the best to you, Chris Adler. Amazing, amazing drummer. Will his presence be missed on this album? I don't know. We'll see as we go through. So we've got 10 tracks on this album. I think if you're a Lamb of God fan, you kind of know what to expect from these guys. Most of their albums have been of very consistent quality. I tend to favor like the first 4 or 5 albums. To me, those were the strongest. To me, they've kind of been retreading familiar territory for the last few albums, which again, nothing bad, right? They don't have a bad album in their catalog. It's just I kind of feel with Lamb of God is they kind of came out really strong out of the gate, and while they still have been putting out consistently solid records, nothing quite as groundbreaking as those few earlier ones. Ashes of the Wake is obviously the one that I always kind of go back to, but they've got a really, really strong catalog. Albums like their very first album is New American Gospel is great. As the Palaces Burn, their second album is great. Like I said, Ashes of the Wake might be their pinnacle. I like Sacrament a lot. Wrath is really good, but like Resolution, solid. 7, Sturm and Drang, solid. Lamb of God, solid. Not quite as strong as the first 5. First 4 really. So to me, Sacrament, Ashes of the Wake, As the Palaces Burn, and New American Gospel, pretty much their strongest efforts. But some really good material in a lot of the other albums as well. So let's take a look at here. So we've got, I'll go kind of track by track here because I took a lot of notes on this while I've been listening to it for a while. So you got Nevermore, which kicks off the album. Pretty crushing song. Randy going between, Randy's got an interesting vocal style. It's not quite death metal growls. It's not quite like hardcore shouting and barking. It's kind of like somewhere in between. It's kind of really like violent, deep, guttural thrash style vocals. Not quite death metal, not quite. So here he uses that and some surprisingly well done clean vocals on this track. Really well done. And I know most people who are hardcore Lamb of God fans are like, we don't want any clean vocals in Lamb of God music. But I tell you what, he is such a good, clean, melodic vocalist when he wants to be. I wouldn't mind hearing more of that in their music. Keep the music as violent and crushing as it is, but every now and then throw in some of that stuff. So Nevermore, really, really good song. The Vanishing follows it up. Lots of big, tumultuous riffing, jackhammer drumming, another real banger to kickstart the album. These 2 really good tracks, Nevermore and Vanishing, starting off the album. Really like that a lot. You got To the Grave follows up. Very well done, kind of thrashy death metal. Decent chorus, some pummeling breakdowns. Good song. Nothing we haven't heard from the band before, but good song. Then you got Ditch. Big, fast-paced belter. You got Randy's venomous vocals. The drums are intricate and pulverizing. He's doing a really good job on the album so far. I really can't fault with the drums on this album. Is he Chris Adler? Maybe not quite, but he's still really, really good. Starting to realize, though, with song number 4, that this album is really short on guitar solos, like really short, like almost non-existent. Yeah, you get little fills here and there, but where's the guitar solos, guys? Number 5 is Omens, the title track. They slow things down a little bit. Here you get that massive kind of groove metal vibe that Lamb of God have been known for quite a bit. They always, a lot of people when they talk about Lamb of God, they were kind of like almost like a second generation of Pantera a little bit, right? You're really hearing it on Omens quite a bit. The riffs are terrific. Really digging this one. Great title track. That vibe continues on Gomorrah, the next track. Another mid-tempo number, heavy riffs, heavy groove, and Randy's vocals are among his most extreme on the album. So another really good song. Then you got Three Designs. Terrific riffs, pretty crushing tune. Dig the dig the chorus. Katoris, no. And you know what? Holy cow, a guitar solo. Woohoo! And it's a good one. So, Three Designs. Good song. Good song, and it's got a neat guitar solo. Good riffs, like that. Then you got Grayscale, kind of more of a, generic chugga-chugga type of track. Kind of generic. The riffs are pretty big. There's some pinch harmonics. Not terrible. Nothing spectacular. Denial Mechanisms is next. That's the shortest track on the album. It's just under 3 minutes long, 2:53 or something like that. Here's where the band kind of brings forth a lot of their hardcore leanings. The band did a lot of, early on in the day, they were doing this kind of death metal hardcore type of thing. And that's what you get here. It's fast-paced, it's brutal, but not one of my favorites. It's kind of one-dimensional. It just doesn't really go anywhere for me. I'm not really a big fan of this style of metal anyway. The more hardcore theme stuff. So, and this just doesn't seem to have the real catchy riffs that the rest of the album does. It's just kind of quick, brutal to the point, but just to me kind of one-dimensional. And I'm not really digging his vocals on it either. So that's probably easily my least favorite song on here. However, track number 10, September, longest track on the album. It's like 6 minutes long. Epic in every way. It's got this kind of cool, creepy, atmospheric opening. Then the big heavy riffs come in. There's epic keyboards in the background that don't detract from anything but add like this kind of spooky atmosphere. Near the end of the song, you got these massive, massive breakdowns, which just absolutely crushing. It could have used some kind of wild guitar solos in this song, which it doesn't really do. But otherwise, an absolutely killer song that I really, really liked a lot. If you're going to go check this album out and listen to a couple tracks first to see if this is for you, definitely listen to September, Nevermore, Vanishing, and Omens, the title track. Those are easily my favorite songs on the album. But, there's plenty of other good ones on here, and a couple that aren't so good. So, in summary here, there's some really good material on this album. I would say out of the 10 tracks, 6 I really like a lot. There's 3 that don't do a ton for me, and there's 1 that I really don't care for much at all. It's plenty brutal. Lamb of God not getting mellow in their older age. They're still doing what they do best. Out of all these kind of new wave of American heavy metal bands, they've always been, one of the more violent and brutal out of all of them. And, as one of those bands who are not quite full-on death metal or, that sort of thing. But, again, I feel like some of this, I kind of heard it before, right? So it's not bad. It's actually very, very good. The production's really good. I wish there were more guitar solos, sure, but there's plenty of, punishing, brutal, complex riffing throughout the album, and Randy is at his venomous best. So a really solid 3.5 out of 5, really solid. I'm hesitating giving it 4 because, again, like 4 of the tracks I don't really care for all that much. But you got, 6 really, really good songs. And 3.5 out of 5 is really, really solid in my book. Quite good, actually. So if you are a Lamb of God fan, you will not be disappointed here. It's big, it's ballsy, it's brutal, just what you want from the band. And, again, is it going to, make you forget Ashes of the Wake and some of their classic early albums, As the Palaces Burn? Probably not. But as a solid entry into their catalog, yeah, it does the trick. And, Chris Adler, is he really missed on this? Honestly, not a hell of a lot. The drawing, I think, is really good on this album. Maybe it's not quite as acrobatic and, Chris Adler's a machine. So maybe it's not quite like that, but maybe it just doesn't need to be. and I think Mr. Cruz does a fine job on his own. So welcome to the band, and yeah, there's your review. Omens from Lamb of God. Let us know what you think if you've heard it in the comments below. If you haven't, go out and check it out. Let us know what you think, and stay tuned for more album reviews here today. We've got all sorts of good stuff, man. We've got Venom Inc., we got Clutch, Glass Hammer, Dead Daisies, man, Damn the Machine, The Tangent. What else we got here? Kings of Mercia, Steve Hackett live, Van and Plas live in Pelletier. That's all that's coming up over the next couple of weeks. I'm obviously not going to get to everything here today. Tedeschi Trucks Band, all sorts of new stuff. Got new Queensryche coming in. That'll probably be next week. So, yeah, I mean, no shortage of new things, and we'll bring them to you as we can. So thanks for watching. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. We'll see you real soon with more stuff. Stay tuned tomorrow for the Monsters Den. Friday morning at the Funhouse with Martin Popoff. Saturday is the UK Connection, and Sunday is Ranking the Albums, where Jamie Laszlo and I will be ranking the catalog of Swedish doom sensations Witchcraft. So that's coming up on Sunday. So I'm Pete Pardo. We'll see you real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.